everyone, good afternoon, and as I promised earlier, I'll be coming live with Reve couture, and we'll be looking at designing of your kente dresses and your second dresses, wedding gowns as well. So we are not going to wait too much time. We're just going to dive right into it. Let's meet Reve. Abel, actually. That's
Hello,
Abel.
everyone.
And I'll be talking with Abel today. So we've all heard about Reve couture, and today we've met Reve at Wager at his premises. So first of all, we just want to know who Reve is, how Reve started, and how the journey has been so far for Reve.
Okay, Rev is just a cool young gentleman. Yes, started way back while I was in KNUST. I had a passion for fashion way back when I was young. So starting wasn't really difficult because it was already there. Yes, so I took part in some fashion shows back in school, and I also had projects that I did way back in school. And it's been, I think, 4 to 5 years now since I started active fashion business, and it's been smooth throughout. It's not been easy, it's not been difficult either. It's been in between, like we just fit in and make sure that everything keeps running.
Rev, we just want to know a little bit about kente. You know how nowadays kente has become popular, and obviously the designs that we see are phenomenal. There are so many detailing in the kente dresses that we see nowadays. I mean, we see beading, we see a whole lot of stuff. We just want to know, especially beading. Beading, I get it from a lot of brides. DMing me about the price and how expensive it is. We just want to know the process that is involved and what happens at different stages and why beading is so expensive. So if you can just throw a little bit light on beading for us, that would be great. So Rev is just going to show us a few stuff. Yes, just bear with us, just trying to take, yes.
Alright, so first of all, I would say that it's been lovely working with kente, and as Ghanaian, it's been amazing knowing that a lot of people and a lot of brides are patronizing kente for their main event. It's part of pushing the whole Ghanaian thing forward, because some time back you realize that usually when people are getting married or when they are having occasions that are like memorable ones, they rather go for laces and all of those. But nowadays we have a lot of people patronizing the kente. Even some people who are not Ghanaians contact me to get them kente, make beautiful dresses out of it. Well, the kente is very unique on its own, looking at the fact that it is handmade and it is carefully woven, taking into consideration the details and all of those. Now, the process of making the kente is not just like making like an ordinary African print fabric. Here with the kente, you realize that there are patterns in it, there are designs in it that are coming together to make the whole cloth. So first of all, to make an outfit from it, you have to make sure that as a designer, the patterns in the kente are well arranged. Now that is the whole beauty of the kente. If the patterns are not well arranged and they are just scattered in the dress, it doesn't make your work nice, and it doesn't portray the fact that you are a designer. because as a designer there are a lot of principles that we work with, like looking at balance, looking at proportion, looking at unity, looking at color. You can look, there are basically a lot of principles that we work with. Yes, so before I work with the kente, I make sure that I get every pattern or every line in it well arranged. It doesn't just end where you make the dress, actually. Yes, so you have to first of all look at how the kente is well arranged, how the patterns are coordinating with each other. Then it makes the dress very good and very nice. Because one thing that I always play by is having my dress well balanced. You understand? Because if it's not well balanced, honestly, if I see people like in kente and the patterns are just somehow, some way, like just going anyhow, I don't appreciate it. Yes, so working with the kente is really difficult sometimes, because of the pressure on. Well, I did a little bit of weaving while way back in KNUST, so I have a bit of idea about how the kente comes together. So what happens is that sometimes at the factory where they weave the kente, there are a lot of pressure on them, because sometimes people want the kente made like within a short period of time. So because there are a lot of weavers, they might decide to share the contract. Some weaves, some of the weavers will work on some work on others, then they put it all together. Yes, but what happens is that because there are different people working on it, you don't get the patterns coordinating with each other. Because, you know, first of all, you have to set your loom and all of those. So if 2 people or 3 people are working on the cloth and then they do different arrangements, at the end of the day, it might be the same design, but you realize that the patterns are not coordinating with each other. So when it comes to us and then we have to work on it, it becomes a whole push and pull kind of thing. Like you are doing your best to get the patterns to coordinate. When you look at this kente, for instance, you realize that the lines and the colors are all coordinating. If it's red here, it's red here. When you look at the white lines, you see that we do our best. Sometimes it's not easy getting them to really meet. That becomes the challenge. But we do our best to make sure that everything is well arranged. By the end of the day, when you finish making the dress out of it, you tend to see that your effort has really paid off. Yes, so it's not easy. That's actually the beginning stage of working with the kente. Every kente that comes to me, I make sure that I arrange it pattern by pattern, line by line, to get it to meet before I progress to make the dress. Yeah, so people wonder why making the kente outfit tends to be like so expensive and why, but this is one of the process we go through, and you should see how difficult and how tedious it is. Sometimes it can take like a whole week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks just trying to get the kente to coordinate and to meet. Yes, so first of all, that's the first process. Now after during the process of making the dress too, you see that when you look at this kente, this is actually the main pattern of it, and this is like a border pattern. Do you understand? So in making the dress, you have to now, as a designer, decide which part of the kente you want to use for which part of the dress. You understand? Because maybe it might be that the design you want to work on, this side might be good for the front, this side might be good for the bottom part. Yes, so that's another stage. You need to decide which part of the kente you are using for which part of the dress. Yes, and sometimes you need to consider which part of the, like maybe there's going to be beading on the dress. So look at the kente and try to figure out which part of it will come out well if you bead it. Do you understand? Now when you look at this pattern for instance and this pattern for instance, it looks like this one looks more calculated and more like put together than this part, than the border part of the kente. So weaving this part and weaving this part, there's going to be a lot of difference. Do you understand? Weaving this part will actually make the kente pop out and look nice.
Okay.
So if maybe I'm working with the kente and there are some parts that I need to weave, definitely I might want to use this part for that part of the kente that I'll be weaving. I'll be beading.
Okay.
Exactly. So there's also another process that I consider. Yes. Now another process also is that I need to consider what type of beading I'm going to make. We have different things that we use for the beading. Yeah, a lot of them. Sometimes you might want to use the sequins. Sometimes you might want to use the crystals. Sometimes you might want to use the stones. Sometimes you might want to use the straw. So this is an example of the straw.
So
and
this is straw
beading, and this is like a pearl. Yes. So you need to consider which type of beading you need to do. Yes. And I tell you, this, as you see here, is handmade.
Okay.
It is hand beaded.
So
it's not a machine
that
work.
does it. So
it's a hand
so
sort
can
of
you
thing.
tell us the process? If you say it's handmade, that means you have to put every little bead
every little bead on the dress by the hand.
By the hand.
Okay.
So how do you do that?
Okay, so it's basically by using needle and thread. Yes.
Okay.
Needle and thread and the beads.
Okay.
Yes.
So you just attach it
to it one by one individually, and you just need to consider how you want to arrange it.
Okay.
To your own discretion. Yeah. So your own creativity will sort of guide you in putting it together.
Okay.
So you can look, you can see, like, the process we've spoken about so far should tell you the amount of energy that we put in making the outfit. You understand? Because if I have to put all of this together one by one, man, that's like a lot of work.
Wow, amazing.
It really is a lot of work.
Yeah,
It really
I can see
is.
that. Because even with this one, from this side to this side, just tell us how many minutes or hours does it take from just here to here? How many minutes or hours does it take to do that?
Alright, so it depends on your expertise, like your skills, how far you've gone with it. You understand? Sometimes, because I've been doing it for quite a long time and I have staff that we work on, I have staff that also helps in the process. Yes. So it depends. Sometimes it can take us like 2 days
to do from here.
Yes.
To there.
Yes.
Okay, so viewers, if you can see, depending on the people that are working on this beading, it can take like 2 days just from here to this point. So I can imagine if you want beading all over the front part of your dress, or from the front to probably the middle part, that's going to take, I don't know how many days. Rev, maybe you can help us with that.
And also, when you look at this type of beading, because it is strong and it's sort of single and it's long, so this one actually makes the process of beading simpler.
Okay.
But when you come to the part where you have to use the sequence, now the sequence is sort of like flat and you need like something to back it up. I have it in the other shop.
Oh, okay.
So the sequence takes more time because that one you are sort of using the sequence plus glass beads. Yes, so it's like 2 in 1. So if this one is taking like 2 days to finish, that one can take like 5 days or more, depending on the area that we have to bead. And this one too, you can see that it is single, but when you look at this kente, for instance, you can see that it's a whole like pattern you are trying to
because you can see this pattern is quite straight.
Exactly.
So it just goes one way. But with this, it's quite detailed. So probably it's going to go all like that. So this will take
like more days
to do than this one will take.
And one thing is that, in as much as this can take 2 weeks, I mean, we are human beings. Sometimes you get like overwhelmed with work and like you're stressed and all that, so it prolongs the time. Yeah, but on a normal day, like 2 days, can do like one of these.
Like this.
Like
Okay.
2 whole days. 2 days.
And does the type of beads that you use also determine how expensive it can be? Maybe there's, let's say, pearls,
Okay.
and this one. Which one is expensive?
Okay. All right.
So if you are beading with all pearls, and if you are beading with this type of beads, which one would be expensive, or is it's just the same price ranges
okay,
for all?
yes. Usually I decide on which type of beading to do at the stage where I'm done with the dress.
Okay.
Or when the client says that, okay, I don't like sequins, I like pearls. I don't like pearls, I like sequins. Or I don't like sequins, I like straws. But aside that, I decide on what type of beading to do at the stage where the dress is fully made.
Okay.
Yes. So usually it doesn't really. I don't consider that when I'm charging.
Okay. All right.
So far as I know, we are beading the
Beading,
dress.
you know we are beading.
Yeah, there's a standard price that
Price.
I go for.
You go through, okay. And I just want to know, which this obviously is not beading.
Yeah.
It's not. So if you can tell us how this design.
Okay.
Yeah. So this probably lace. That is.
Yeah, this is a lace
applique.
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 Yeah, so we actually finished the dress, and then this one, for instance, too, it had to be stitched on to the main outfit with the hand.
With the hand.
Yes.
Okay.
So you can imagine how that one also comes through. Like you have to, you can see that it is well attached to the dress. Yes, it had to be handmade, hand tagged
inside.
Yes, onto the dress.
But I'm guessing that the beads take much longer time than the applique.
Sometimes depending on how how big the tacking is, and some of the laces too, they have a lot of netty parts. Usually when the netty parts, you don't tack it. You tack where it sort of has a pattern, so that the tacking wouldn't really show at the netty parts. Yes, so all depends. Sometimes the tacking takes more time than the beading. Sometimes the beading does.
Okay.
So whichever one
you go for. Okay, all right. So yes, as Rev Abel has told us, it takes much longer to do the beading, depending on the type or the area that you want it. And if you want it all from the top to the down, obviously it's going to cost more than if you just want it on the shoulders. Yes. So since we are done with the kente and the beading, I want Abel to also tell us more about what goes into the designing and choosing a style for the bride. Does the bride come in with their style, or you as the designer just look at the bride and the make of the bride, how heavy the bride is, and or how slim the bride is, or how, I don't know, if bigger hips, fuller breast and all that, apply, like us, and think about all that before you come out with a design or what, and what will work best with each and every individual. So let's look at heavier brides, people that are well endowed, people that have everything, hips, all that. What do you think might look good on it? What should they stay away from in terms of designing options, and what should they stick with, so that we don't see brides? Yeah.
Okay, all right, I get it. Okay, so first of all, there are some brides that will contact you and go like, well, I don't know what I want, I just want a dress. Some will contact you and say, okay, so I want a kaba and slit, but I don't have any style in mind, I don't know what you can put together for me. And on the other hand, we have some brides that will come and go like, okay, I'm this stylish, I want this particular style, I want my dress like this, I want it to come out like this. But what I usually do is that when you come here with your own style, all right, as a designer, okay, like I said earlier, we have principles and elements that we put together to make the dress or make the design, so that at least everything will go on well. Do you understand? We will not be lacking at some parts, and some parts will be booming. We make sure that everything complements each other in the dress. So when you come and then you even have a style in mind, or you even have a style already that this is what I want, I look at the style, look at your figure, look at how you are, how endowed you are, or how endowed you are not, and then I'll tell you that, okay, this part might not work better for you, this part wouldn't work better for you, so let's change this part and use this. Whenever I'm doing that, I make sure that I have an option, because you can't just tell the person that, okay, this part will not work for you, and then you leave them to their own fate. No, it doesn't work like that. As a designer, so far as the person approaches you and the person knows that I'm going to a designer already, they know that they are sorted design wise. So if they come and then you are not able to, like, you tell them that this won't work, but you're not able to provide them with what will work, then your work is not done, your work is not complete. Yes. Okay, coming to body sizes, you know, when people are really endowed, like they are like big breasts, boobs, and they are also like huge hips and all of those. Usually, I tend to keep the designs simple, because already they have something that is catching attention already. So you just need to do something to complement it. Do you understand? Not something to take the focus off what they have. Do you understand? Like if someone has huge hips, let's take Moesha for instance. Looking at her figure, I mean, when she steps into like a hall or any place, already her figure speaks for her. Do you understand? So if I'm designing something for her, I just need to look at something that will complement her body, not too many details. Do you understand? Something really simple but elegant. Do you understand? And there are some type of clients that are stylish, like they want something really stylish, like they want all the vavavu or the bougie sort of dresses. So you can still do, maybe the person has all those endowments, you can still do, but you can keep it minimal. Maybe if it is at a little side, you don't have to make like let it go on in the whole dress, then it makes the thing too much and then like too exaggerated. At the end of the day, you are trying to do too much, but it ends up that the thing doesn't look pretty. Yes. So sometimes I like to do things simple. Yes. And for the brides that are not really endowed at the top, I mean, I usually put bra caps in it and all of those, so it doesn't turn out that the person has less boobs. I mean, we should all be equal.
Rev is so funny. Rev is so funny. I mean, viewers, you have to come and see Rev for your dresses. I mean, being here, talking to him, and seeing what he's done, I mean, it's amazing. It's quite unfortunate we can't show some designs to you because obviously the brides haven't worn them, so we can't show it to you guys. But I'm sure you'll be updating his pages soon, so you'll be seeing all the beautiful detailing that he's done. We'll soon be signing off, but I want Abel to tell us what works for different shades of brides. So for example, I'm dark. What colors as a bride do I go in for that will complement my complexion? And if I'm fair, what colors should I go in for that will complement my shade or my tone? Yes.
All right. So well, color plays vital roles in our business. It really does. Because sometimes, like she said, color, when you look at some people wearing colors that's not really complement their shade, it makes the whole thing, maybe the dress or the design might be beautiful, alright, but because the color is not really complementing their skin tone, then it makes it look way like somehow. Yes, but one thing is that there are people who know that this color might not really work for my skin tone, but they are really wild. They just want to go in for it. Do you understand? Yes. Usually when I look at people who are light skinned, the color is already bright. I mean, when you are light skinned, the color is already bright. You understand? So you don't really need colors that are like extremely bright.
So
do you understand?
Give us two colors that a fair skinned bride can wear,
Okay.
or have on, or in two colors that a dark skin or somebody with a dark tone can wear for, say, her reception.
Okay, for a light skinned bride, I'll be looking at burgundy, like this shade. It really works well for light skin
brides.
It really does.
So that's burgundy.
Yeah, that's burgundy. It really does. Yes, and then like what's the name? The royal blue also works for the light skin. Yes. Now you know that though we have light skin and we have dark skin, they are still tones. Do you understand? So maybe someone might be dark skin but extremely dark. Someone might be dark skin but a little bit in between, like not too dark, not too like light skin. So sometimes maybe like a gold or a champagne color wouldn't be bad on someone that is light and dark skin. Yes, or maybe emerald green wouldn't be bad for someone that is dark skin.
Yes, so as we are going along, if you have any questions, you can type in. We are about signing off. However, you can watch a replay of this interview with Abel, and if you have further questions, you can send it straight to Abel. You can DM him and he can answer all your questions for you. So I just want Abel to tell us, just give us one or two pointers. I mean, as a bride, just tell us how, obviously you meet a lot of brides, you know the process that they go through. I mean, just tell us what should we expect as a bride when designing, what should we go in for, what should we stay away from, because getting married is a whole of stress on its own. Just tell us something to distress us.
Okay, so I know how I've encountered a lot of brides. Yes, because I've been in the business, in the industry. I've been a vendor for quite some time now and still in the business. Yes, I know how stressful it is being a bride, because it is sort of your day. The groom usually doesn't stress too much, unless the groom that, like the whole pre-man groom, that also want things in a particular way. But aside that, the brides usually stress, because you know how ladies are, like automatically they want things in a particular way. They want to have their big day in a particular way, because the man is the one coming to marry her. You understand? So the whole pressure to make the thing work is on her. Yes, so it's really stressful. I've encountered brides who usually wait till like last minute, then they'll be found wanting. And designers too, we go through a lot. I mean, like we just saw, this is some aspect of the designing process. You can see how stressful it is, and you can see how the effects that will come up if you should wait till you are just a few weeks to your big day. I mean, usually, like, that you are getting married, you'll be getting married like this year. So while you prepare for it, it's adequate to have your things running. Some brides come here like 6 months ahead of time. So by the time like 3 months we've started fittings, and all of this. Some people go like, what if I reduce or I gain extra weight? Yes, usually we factor that in. Sometimes we wait to, like, maybe if you come early, we discuss the whole process. We start with it. We'll be doing fittings in between. So as your body changes or any development comes through, we are able to factor that through. So whilst your day is like approaching, your dresses are already sorted out. All that we need to do is maybe do fitting, a little finishing, and then you are done. So I know it's quite stressful, and I would advise that if you're getting married, or you're on your way to, or you're preparing to get married, get your things done quickly. Don't wait till the last minute. Then you'll be chasing your caterers, you'll be chasing photographers, chasing designers. Then it stresses you. Then at the end of the day, you don't really have a good day like you planned it. So whenever you are planning such an event, get your things done on time. And also financially, now things are quite expensive. Things are really expensive. So if you wait for last minute, at the end of the day, you'll be found wanting, and then you might have a wedding, like a glam wedding, and after it you'll be owing a lot of vendors, which is not cool. Because some time ago I came across a vendor who posted a bride's pictures online that she was owing, and it's been like some time, and she's been dodging calls and blah 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 and all of those. Yes, so you need to fasten your seatbelt early and get things running so that you don't come across all those pressures. Now it will be amazing styling. All of you, all the followers watching live now, it will be great styling you. If you have questions or anything at all, you can DM me. I'm a very nice person.
You don't have to say, Reve. We can tell.
I'm a very nice person. I'm down to earth. We can go all out. We can talk. Some brides come to make inquiries. They become family, and it goes on and on. What is life? and finally, people, rumors have it that Reve is so expensive, man.
Yes, would you want to tell us something about that, Reve?
Sometimes when I hear it, I'm like, hey. It's not like that, but the whole process is quite involving. When you have staff, you need to pay staff, because they are all putting in efforts to make your big day great. Like when you look at the beading, when you look at the finishing, I am really particular about finishing and all of those. Yes, and it is on my heart to always give her my best. So sometimes you just can't do anything about the fact that it's quite expensive, because everything that comes together to make the outfit is expensive.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Abel. As I already said, Abel is an amazing designer. I'm sure you've already seen some of his designs, so you can go on his page and look at some of the amazing designs that he's created for brides. If you have any questions for him, please do contact him personally. You can DM him on Instagram if you want his direct contact. I'm sure you get it on Instagram, on the page as well. You can get it on Instagram. Just give him a call. You can come over, then discuss what you want. Obviously, he'll be able to guide you through it and advise you on that. So thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you very much for joining me. I'll come your way again soon with another great vendor. I'm not going to say anything about that vendor, but you will see that vendor soon. So thank you very much. Have a wonderful afternoon and enjoy your day. Thank you. Bye bye. Bye.
Bye. So we'll meet in my office.
So Abel says we will meet you all in his office. Yes. So it's not just bye for now. So pass through his office.
We'll be expecting you. Come along and let's style you. You really love it. You really love it. Thank you.
Thank you.